This is my 1976 Apollo motorhome project. It's actually in pretty good shape for how old it is. The previous owner actually redid the motor, but it needs a master cylinder, so I'll take care of that. Also needs some front tires. Old ones are rotted out. As you can see, it's in pretty good shape. The trim needs to be replaced around the top, and it did need replacing around the bottom, but the previous owner was nice enough to give me a whole box load of new trim. The original trim was white. This trim is black, which I actually like better because it gives it more accent. Some repairs needed on the fiberglass. And on the back, the hinges have kind of lost their muster. They're tied into a wood beam underneath the fiberglass, but it's rotted out. So I tried moving them once before, but it's not really doing too good. So I'm going to have to redo that. Ladder's broken in a couple spots and been rewelded, but it's aluminum. It's not going to hold up too well, so I'm going to replace that at some point. And the gas tank lid fell apart, so I'm going to have to replace that. Everything else, pretty good shape. The original awning that was on here was all rotted out, so I took that down. I'm going to replace it with something new at some point here. Window's going to have to be replaced because it's actually cracked on the other side, so I'm going to replace that. They're actually pretty cheap though. Repainted the Apollo logos and added a little Valkyrie, give it a little personality. And the inside, outside of cleaning up the original mouse droppings, since this was sitting beside a barn for a long time, had a few little guys living in it. So I cleaned that out, vacuumed it out. Sofa's in good shape, pulls out into a bed. Not sure if I'm going to keep that or not, but we'll see how that goes. It's a Dodge 440 motor in here. His previous owner said the only problem he had was with the ignition module, which he replaced. So I have to replace the master cylinder because he says that's leaking like a sieve. So outside of that, as you can see, it looks pretty good. Got an upper bunk here. Actually pulls down into the bed. Looks pretty nice. Not sure I really like that sitting over the driver and passenger, but oh well, it is what it is. Lots of storage. This little control unit here. I'm going to have to replace the keys for a lot of the hatches around the bottoms of the hatches outside because they're just falling apart. So, refrigerator, freezer. This is just empty right now, but I'm going to stick a microwave in there at some point. So I got to clean that out a little more. And looks like a fairly full-size shower for a motorhome. Everything looks decent, clean. No leaks that I can tell. Back here he had the water line break, froze and cracked. So I got that pulled apart. I'm going to have to replace that. When the water line broke, it flooded the mattresses that were back here, so I'm going to have to replace those. So I'm still kind of playing around with the idea of either two separate beds or a full-size bed back here, but we'll see how it goes. The whole idea behind getting this is for this to be a mobile office. So I was thinking of this being an office area, but if I keep it a bedroom, I'll keep it a bedroom, and then I'll put the office out here. I already got a full-size desk. I took out the original TV stand. Older TVs were much bigger. And I've got a full-size tabletop that'll go in here that I'll use as a computer center that'll go across here. I do video game design work in my career, so it'd be nice to actually have a mobile office that I can take around California and work for different studios. We'll see how it works out. Seats are in good shape. Not a whole lot of miles on this thing. The previous owner took really great care of it. Actually, I got the motorhome as a gift from the guy, which was really nice of him. His wife, I guess he owns 4 of them, or owned 4 of them, and his wife said 4 was too many, so she made him give 1 away. And I was the lucky recipient, which was really nice. Like I said, there's lots of storage all over the place in this thing, which I really like. Don't really need a lot of storage for a mobile office, but we'll see how it works out. But I'm very, very pleased with it so far. But this is the first video in the series of putting this thing together, fixing it up. Now, like I said, there's not a whole lot to do as far as fixing it up is concerned. It's starting off with a pretty good base. Put together an Excel spreadsheet to kind of go through the things I do need to fix. It's going to need a couple batteries. 2 batteries that were in it are dead, so they're stored down there underneath this hatch, and the locks are kind of a pain to open, so I'm not going to bother with that right now. But there's a slide out for the batteries, but the slide out is rusted solid, so I'm going to have to figure that out, probably soak it, see if I can get it to move. Then we'll get the batteries in there. And it's got one solar panel on top, I think came with the system, right over there, but it's fogged up pretty good, so I'm not sure how much power that thing's going to generate through all that fog glass on top of it. But ideally, I want to put solar panels across the whole top of this thing and get it as efficient as I can. And then we'll just keep playing with it and see how nice we can get it. Rear tires are really good. Don't seem to be any cracking on the rears. We've got major cracking on the 2 fronts, so I'm going to have to deal with that. So, and outside of that, the engine compartment lid is a bit loose. I don't really like that. It kind of floats around a bit. So I'm going to have to fix that. So one thing at a time. Put some lock caps on the gas tanks, or at least on the other side. I still have to do this side on the secondary tank, just to keep any unwanted siphons from happening. And then I got to test out the hydraulic step. It's got a wire that's unplugged, so I think they unplugged it intentionally. So hopefully once I get the batteries in, it'll kick up and get going. But this is the first of my videos to see how this works out, and I'll post more as we move along. Alright? That's my Apollo project. Enjoy.